Everybody. I'm not sure who's here. This was not meant to be. This is not a scheduled live. This is a live that I'm doing prior to my live later tonight. But a lot of people that tune into my channel are from America, so I'm mainly doing this so they don't miss out on the one that's going to be later tonight. No idea if today's going to go well. No idea if today's even going to register on anyone's radar at all. But today marks 3 years since I very first time went live on my YouTube channel. Excuse me. And yeah, so I'm just doing a little commemorative thingy. Excuse me. I can't. I love when people ask me to send a link. It's like, well, I can't because I'm live. So you go onto YouTube, you hit the live button, and if you see my little emojis moving around there, then you know I'm live. If not, then I'm not. But no, at the end of the day, like I said, I've had a lot of amazing experiences since having a channel. Those who know me know that I started off with it being called True Crime Discussions with Tammy. And hey, thanks, Rosalind, you're a sweetheart. It's been, like I said, it's been a very, very long journey. Some of the time I've been tempted just to walk away. Excuse me, walk away from it. But there are a lot of people that I now consider like my extension of a family, and I wouldn't want to walk away from them because I know what it's like to be walked away from. Now, going forward with my channel, I am going to try my hardest to make sure that sorry, guys, I'm just really tired, but I really needed to do this before I start my rest of my day. I swear there's a house getting pulled down around near me because all I hear is rubble getting like knocked down and really weird. And yeah, it's annoying to say the least. But what can you do? And thank you for the congratulations, Rosalie. That's very sweet of you. Like I said, I'm just trying my hardest just to make sure that going forward, I still bring you guys the entertainment that that you're used to. I make sure that we still have laughs, jokes, tears, whatever. As long as people are still enjoying my channel, because if you're not, then there's no point in me continuing it. I was at one stage considering to do merchandise. I was, but without sounding too dramatic about it, I know exactly where I could get the merchandise from. Excuse me. But my channel being called Tammy's Corner, I don't really think that's going to be something you're going to want on a bag or a hat or a t-shirt. But if you do, by all means, please let me know. It will cost me a fair bit of money to do because I'm going, it sounds bad, but I'm going through Temu. And they can personalize items. So I was thinking of going through them, and then I thought, but hang on a second, how many people out there? Excuse me. How many people out there? I got their address. So yeah, no comment there. But like I said, I don't know if I'll do that because at the end of the day, as much as it sounds pathetic to say this, I don't make anywhere near as much as the big channels do, so I can't justify it. So not that I'm doing this to continuously make money on my channel, no way in the world, but to say, for example, to get a bag made with my logo on it. Excuse me, with my to get a bag with my logo on it, it will cost me like $30 to get made, right? But that's fine in a sense. But then I will have to pay for the postage to get it, sent, so say from here to North Dakota, here to Kansas or wherever, and I'll have to pay for that part myself because I don't think it would be a good idea to have about 20 different names on the postage thingy from Temu. So I'm not going to be doing it anytime soon, but I might send out a few limited edition ones to people I know and people I care about. But on a different note, it's nearly my birthday. I'll be turning 42. And for what it's worth, I feel every single minute of it. I get enough sleep at night, but I still wake up tired. So obviously, I'm still waking up and not realizing it throughout. Oh shit! What happened? I'm still waking up throughout the night and not actually realizing that I'm doing that. So yeah, but I feel bad for doing that. I don't expect, like I said, I put what I put into my description every single live, and it doesn't like I'm not saying this to complain, but it might come across as though I am, and I don't mean it to be. But like I said, I try my hardest to give you guys, whoever joins in, male, female, dog, cat, mice, rat, whatever. I try and offer as much of me as I can, and it gets to the point when it's like there are people out there who still bitch and moan and complain, and I'm one of them. I'm not going to deny that. But some of the people that do bitch and moan actually get, like I open up a lot about myself to the general public when I go live. I do. Excuse me, that is my message tone. And for what it's worth, it's just it's really oh my gosh, it's loud. But I'm turning that on silent, so I just got to remind myself that when I go off this live to turn it back on loud. But no, like I said, it's been 3 years. It's been a long, long journey. There have been some amazing people that I would never, if I'd never had a channel, I don't think I would have met. And when I say met, I mean as in speak to. There's a lot of people that I would love, and I would love to meet. But unfortunately, due to distance, that's unlikely anytime soon. I want to meet Rosa Lang. I want to meet Elizabeth Anderson. I want to meet Foxy Lady. I want to meet so many people, And fortunately for me, that next month I get to meet one of my dear friends, Aussie True Crime. We are going to be doing the Beaumont children case together. I should say, and Aussie's cool with it. We're doing a pre-recorded live. So what's going to happen then is that we're going to obviously, like I said, pre-record it, and then I'm trusting her to edit it, and then it will go up. It will go up on my channel, and it will most probably go up on her channel, because at the end of the day, we are collaborating on it. So it won't just be me talking about the Beaumonts. It will also be Aussie True Crime. Now, I was talking to my mum the other day on Mother's Day, of all days, to talk about this. We're talking about the Beaumont children. And I was talking to her about how I was saying about how I'm very fortunate that there is a men, but I heard only from one of them. His name is Stuart Mullins and Bill Hayes. Now, they are absolutely incredible with the research they've done on the Beaumont children. Now, they've written books, they've written articles, they've appeared on TV shows, they've appeared on documentaries, like I said, books, newspaper articles, magazine articles, radio, TV interviews, you name it, they've done a lot. Now, I at one stage wrote to or emailed Stuart Mullins, and I asked if he would like to be a guest. Now, because he is so amazing and incredible and popular with his theories on the Beaumonts, he said that unfortunately he has a lot of commitments and he won't be able to. So that was like, yeah, that's cool. But then he added at the end of it, I've listened to your podcast and you pointed out some very interesting points indeed. Now, for to get that kind of feedback, I was like, oh my God, he listened to my podcast. This is scary shit. And yeah, I was honored to be able to get an email back because I got it within a few days. You know, I thought it was going to be like, oh, I won't hear from him in for months and months and months, maybe even years. But I heard back from him within days. And it was absolutely an honor to get that email back from him. He could have easily just looked at another one who wants me to be on their channel. Ugh, piss off, you know. He could have easily have had that mentality and that attitude, but he didn't. And I was very, very honoured to get the reply back. And then as I was going over that email in my head, I thought of something else. So if you're listening, Stuart, Mr. Mullins, please listen to this part. Apart from the £1 note, when it came to the Beaumonts, what actually connected Harry Phibbs to the Beaumonts? Now, I was under the impression, now I could be wrong, please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, and I'm used to that. But please feel free to tell me, was Jim Beaumont, in general, a fabrics salesperson? Okay, now the only reason I'm asking that is because you've got to remember that after Phibbs died or passed away, due to natural causes apparently, they were saying that it took about 6 to 8 cartloads full of satin material because how I hope this is appropriate to say, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that Harry Phibbs, this touch of silk was like an aphrodisiac for him, which means basically he was turned on by it. It was very like, ooh la la, this is turning me on, you know. And I'm curious as if Jim Beaumont, being a fabric salesperson, did he have any links to that material? Because if you look at TV interviews when it comes to Jim Beaumont, they say, oh, what can you tell us about Jane? Now, Jane was the oldest of the Beaumonts, right? Now, he was like, oh, she's a very smart girl. She knows not to talk to strangers. So when I hear that, I'm thinking, okay, Jane doesn't talk to strangers. From what I've heard, Jim was a fabric salesperson. Had Harry Phibbs, hypothetically, regardless of his stature in the community, could he have I'm watching her? She's amazing. Her accent, I could listen to it day in, day out. She's awesome. I love how she goes, "Oh, bugger off." The accent is just awesome. I've always been a sucker for the English accent. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Jim Beaumont. He mentioned about how, like I said, Jane was a very responsible, smart girl. She knew not to talk to strangers. Now, if Jim was a fabric sales person, did he at any stage come into contact with silk, aka satin? Now, they say that Harry Phibbs was a very rich man for the for the 60s. Like, yeah, good on him. But because he owned Castelloyd factory and all that sort of hoo ha. But the thing I'm curious about, though, like I said, did Jim Beaumont know Harry Phibbs and have Harry? Even though, like I said, Harry Phibbs compared to Jim Beaumont was like, say, was a millionaire, and Jim Beaumont was not. Now, it doesn't matter though, because at the end of the day, if you can get something on a little bit cheaper, you're going to zero in on that person. Now, if Jim was a fabric salesperson and had connections to get satin and silk, could that have been the connection in earlier days with Jim and Phibbs and the kids? Because if Phibbs went to Harry Phibbs, went to Jim Beaumont's house, then by all means, Jane, Anna, and Grant would have met Harry Phibbs prior to their abduction. and possible killings. I'm trying to think of the first. You know what I mean? We don't know because at the end of the day, the Beaumont kids could still very well be alive. I don't think they are anymore. I always thought that Grant might still be, but I don't believe Jane and Anna are. But we don't know because nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing of theirs was ever, ever, ever found. The book, Little Women, that Jane was reading was never found. The bag that she had was never found. Towels were never found. Bathing suits were never found. Anything that could have connected it to the Beaumonts was ever found. Now they say that there was a purse that was found in Harry Phibbs's son's house in the basement. Now they said it was a creamy kind of purse. Now you got to remember though, this purse was found over 10, 20 years after the Beaumont case happened. Like the kids went missing. So of course the purse isn't going to be as white as snow like it was when Jane had it back in the day. But they're like, oh, it was darker. Well, there you go. Look at things like that. But like I said, just makes me wonder if Harry Phibbs knew Grant Beaumont due to him being a fabric salesperson traveling. And the thing I said back on the previous time when I mentioned this, the thing that confuses me more than, apart from the fact that there was no trace of the Beaumonts ever found, but the thing that confuses me still to this very day is how did Jim Beaumont get notification, right, that his job in Snowtown on a public holiday was cancelled? How did he get that information? If he was halfway to Snowtown and then, oh, job's been cancelled. Oh, okay, turn around, come home. How would he have got that notification? You got to remember, car phones and hey Andy, and hello to everyone else that's popped in here so far. I have 4 people in here. This is pretty cool. But like I said, how is it that he was given that notice? I don't think they did carry a pigeon back in the 60s. I don't think they had. Well, I know they, as far as I know, as far as I know. They didn't have mobile phones. They didn't have car phones. They didn't have any of that shit. So how did Jim get told that the job had been cancelled? And isn't it interesting that Jim just happens to get home shortly after the kids were supposedly due home? How do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far, I can't recall how far Glenelg is to Snowtown. I don't recall, but I know that it's a fair distance away. Snowtown is located in Adelaide, South Australia, and so is Snowtown and Glenelg. They're both in the same state. Now, I don't understand that, but we'll be investigating that more when Aussie True Crime and I go investigating, because I find it very, very odd that, like I said, he got home more or less 15, 20 minutes or so after the kids were supposed to be due home. Now, I can understand why Nancy was worried. I can understand why she was freaking out by saying, Jim, the kids aren't home. But at the same time, you've got to look at it as well, is the fact that this is what I've been told and what I've heard. So I don't know if it's true or not. All right? So this is just my opinion from what I was told and what I've heard. I shouldn't say I've been told, because I've been told squat. Nancy was sedated nearly every night for 2 weeks after, like at night, so she could sleep. After the Beaumonts went missing, she was sedated for 2 weeks. Jim was not. Why wasn't Jim? Why wasn't Jim looking worried or disorientated or sleep deprived or anything? In every interview I've seen him in, he doesn't look like he's tired or drained or exhausted or emotionally fucked. You know, I'm sorry. But if your only 3 kids have gone missing and you're standing there with your arm crossed over your chest, like trying to protect yourself, and having your hand basically covering your mouth and going, oh, Jane was very responsible. Oh, she knew not to talk to strangers. But then, like I said, you've got to think about the very big picture of it all. Jim was a fabric salesperson. Harry Phibbs loved satin material, which is a fabric. We don't know, though. We don't know if they were connected. We don't know that. All right, so keep that in mind as well. Now, the thing is that confuses me is that, like I said, not a single thing of the children was ever found. That purse, I think that's just hearsay. But what I'm saying is, and at the end of the day, the only thing that connects the Beaumonts to Harry Phibbs is because prior to the children going missing, Harry Phibbs paid some people, kids at the time, to dig a hole in the Castleloyd yard, right? And he paid them with crisp £1 notes. Now, this is where the connection with Harry Phibbs comes in, is the fact that when Jane went into the bakery of that day, of January Day, she paid with a £1 note. Now, I'm not saying this is next part I'm saying is fact. This is just what came into my mind. They have said that Nancy Beaumont was suffering from Alzheimer's towards the end of her life. All right. I'm probably going to get in a lot of shit for mentioning this, but I'll mention it anyway. My grandmother's sister suffered from, I think it was either Alzheimer's or something. I don't know what it's called, Alzheimer's or dementia, whatever it is. And she used to always get me confused with my mum. All right. When I was a very young kid, she used to call me by my mother's name, and I'm not mentioning my mother's name because I'm not. And she would call, like I said, but basically, we'll just say Mary. She would call me Mary, and that's not my name. My name is Tammy, or back when I was a kid, it was Tamara. Don't ever call me that if you're in my chat. I don't like it. I hate it. But the point I'm making is that she would not call me by my name. And every time I tried to convince her that my name is what it is, well, my name's Tamara, I'm not Mary, and she'll get really angry because she was adamant that I was Mary. Now, the thing is, is that years and years and years and years and years, and I mean years went past, and she ended up getting diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia. Like I said, I don't remember which one it was. But the long story short of things, is that she was finally given the right diagnosis. Hey, Julie, welcome. I'm sorry if anyone thinks I'm being rude by not reading chat much. It's just that my eyes are killing me today, and it's still quite early here. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Is the fact that I've always thought to myself, Nancy keeps on saying she was adamant that she did not give the coin, she only gave coins to the kids. How do we know that? She was apparently buying enough food for 6 people. Jane, Anna, Grant, the man and then there would have been her mum and her dad. So there's 6. So that's enough food for 6 people. So at the end of the day, I don't know what the prices were like back in the 60s here in Australia. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that my mother used to tell me that for 20 cents she could go see a double feature movie, get a large popcorn, I don't know why I'm talking like that, but a large popcorn and a drink and still go home with change. Now, obviously we know that, money was worth a lot more back then. But what I'm saying is that was then. So you've got to ask yourself, if Nancy was showing signs of Alzheimer's prior to the kids going missing, we don't know. 1, we don't know because Nancy's no longer here. B, we don't know if she even had early stages of it or not. We don't know. Well, I don't know. So little things like that you've got to look at is the fact that she was supposedly going through that in later years. All right. And who knows? She could have, I'm not saying they had that kind of money, but who knows? Nancy could have easily handed over a £1 note, not realising how much she handed over, but thinking to herself, but I'm sure I gave them coins. Yeah, you probably did, but you probably gave them the coins the day before when they went, and they were getting a lift with their dad down. We don't know. But the part that still stumps me, and I've mentioned this a few times, the part that stumps me more than anything in regards to this case is that Jim, as far as I can remember, I've got to look at the footage again before I go live about this case next, is that Jim did not look at the camera. Nancy didn't, because no offense when I say this, rest in peace, Nance. Nancy was disorientated because she had been given so many sedatives to be able to sleep that she was a bit, so she wasn't looking at the camera. I can understand. But when Jim was saying, "Oh, Jane's a very smart girl. She knows not to talk to strangers," he was covering his mouth like he was trying to hide something. Now, what was he trying to hide by doing that? Why was he so adamant that Jane was a smart girl and knew not to talk to strangers? Was Harry Phibbs a stranger to the Beaumont children? Or had Jim Beaumont or even Nancy invited Harry Phibbs into their home at some point? The question is always going to be a big, massive question mark because we don't know. Jim's no longer here. Nancy's no longer here. Harry Phibbs is definitely no longer here. So anybody that could have connected the dots there has long since passed away. So who knows? I don't think I've seen you in here before, Julie. Welcome and welcome back if you have been in here before. But like I said, it just comes down to, like I said, there's so many things that surround that case in mystery. And I'm going to continue doing as much research as I possibly can on the case. And I'll be doing, like I said, more of a what do you call it? Doing more research on it as time progresses. It's going to be fun to do a collaborate. I think this might actually be one of my actual first collaborations that I've done. I did a little mini collaboration with Aussie True Crime when I interviewed Susie Radcliffe. But me being the bitch that I am, I didn't let Aussie pretty much get a word in edgeways. So if you listen to the replay of this again, Aussie, I'm so sorry. She's all like, "Oh, it's fine. It's your channel," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I should have let you ask questions." And I feel bad that I didn't. So I do apologise for those who are listening in to that live and only heard me ask questions. And Susie, if you ever happen to listen to this, thank you so much again, and God bless you, honey. But yeah, like I said, if there is anything you'd like to hear me talk about or discuss on my channel, please feel free to let me know in the future. I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping that going forward, like I said, I could do more stuff on the Beaumont children. I'm looking, excuse me, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of things with this channel going forward. There won't be, like I said, put it this way, guys, when I'm discussing true crime, you will get that if you're in here as the live is starting, you will notice that I'm going to be doing a countdown, which is usually when I'm discussing true crime. It will be my old countdown one that the beautiful Van created for me, and it'll be true crime discussions with Tammy. And that will be the countdown for it, so that way you know you're going to be watching something true crime related. If it's just going to be like a general, generic, mundane, whatever kind of chat, then there's not going to be an introduction. It's just going to straight away be me with my avatar and chatting away. But like I said, like I said before, it is my 3 years of having a YouTube channel. I've had my channel, and Hen, if you're still in here, thank you for helping me understand this better. I have had my channel longer, but since I've actually been going live with it, it's been 3 years today. So, yeah, pretty stoked about that. It's been a good run for 3 years. Whether I keep my channel after my birthday, time will tell. I will keep it after my birthday so I can do that collab. I'll give it to the end of June and then I'll decide what I want, or, early July, and then I'll decide what I want to do with it. But just right now, I have no idea. Hey, Foxy Lady, welcome to my chat. Uh, why is it last name? Because that's my last name. I was born with it. Are you for real? Are you for real? Excuse me just for a sec. Uh, yeah, so the reason the surname is Wells is because that's my last name. Yeah, so that's why. Elizabeth, please check your messages, hun, and thank you if you're doing what I think you. Um, but like I said, at the end of the day, everybody has to take a chance. But yeah, anyway, I am going to wrap this up because I want more to talk about tonight, and I have some very interesting, well, not interesting things to do with my day, and I have a few people I need to call. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.